Well, thank you very much for joining us today. So for the benefit of those who don't really know OSG, I will do a brief introduction later on. Okay, but here on the first page, you can see our website, our WeChat account, our Facebook, Instagram, as well as YouTube account. So take a screenshot or use your phone to take picture, and we have the QR codes on the right side as well, so you can follow us. We hope if you're on WeChat, do follow us so that you get updated on different events that we host and we organize, okay? So obviously today's topic is treading in uncharted waters. Okay, we call Sage the speaker, okay? I will be introducing her later, okay? A sea turtle, for those of you who are familiar with the term, and for those of you who are not familiar with the term, sea turtle is a direct translation from the Chinese term called hai gui, which is, you know, returning Chinese from overseas. Okay, so it sounds like sea turtle, so they are being termed hai gui. So, yep. Okay, so what is the OSG Young Founders Series that we have started this year? Okay, the OSG Young Founders Series is something that we, at the OSG Youth Alliance, we started creating this segment or this series of talk, especially after the COVID-19. We thought it would be interesting to actually keep people occupied because we couldn't do any more gatherings and stuff like that. So we came up with this Young Founders Series. We have actually done 5. Today is our 6th series. Okay, so you can read from the screen here. We have a lineup of startups from young founders, okay, to share their adventures of starting a company. Okay. Now, OSG Youth Alliance is something we incorporated in 2017 in Singapore. Okay, as a social enterprise serving to build a network of global-minded and enterprising youth. Okay, so sharing our experiences, sharing our failures, and sharing our success stories, so that, you know, for future generations to come, they can all learn. By the way, are we actually recording this already? We are recording, huh? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we are recording this because, you know, we like to archive it someday, you know, 20 years down the road, we will still have youth going into Instagram, WeChat, YouTube, and they can actually pull out all these archives. So later on, please participate with us, ask questions, give your feedback, give us some input, okay? All this will benefit future generation of young Singaporeans and ASEAN members. Okay, so some of the core programs that OSG Youth Alliance has been doing over the past 2.5, 3 years or so. Okay, obviously we have the Young Founder Series now. We are also starting this OSG FUSA SSA e-forum series. Okay, we've already done our first one last weekend. This Saturday we will be having our second one. All right. The Mentor for Mentee program, Youth for Change, Learn for Exposures. Okay, these are some of the programs that we have created for our members, for young Singaporeans. So these are the previous webinar e-posters. Again, for those of you who have not attended, you are able to actually go into our accounts respectively and pull this recordings out. Okay, the first OSG FUSA SSA Shaping Our Digital Economy last week. So this coming Saturday, we will have our second series, which we'll introduce at the end of the session. The Mentor-Mentee Walk is something we've also created in 2019 to actually allow more personalized, okay, on a smaller scale, so that young entrepreneurs or youth like yourself or in the audience, okay, that you can actually work on a more intimate kind of interaction, okay, get to interact more intimately in terms of asking questions and asking for advice with a mentor. Okay, so that's something we have done. Youth for Change program, where we created or we hosted different hackathons in Shanghai, and also just very casual social events, just simple Singapore Malaysian students get together, barbecue sessions, and so on. Okay, and also working with big name companies, okay, or established companies to actually share insights into their industries. All right, so today, like we mentioned just now, the trading in uncharted waters. Very quickly, I'm going to be the moderator. I actually forgot to introduce myself just now because I know there's a page here. So I'm the South China or Shenzhen representative of OSG Youth Alliance. Okay, previously I was in Beijing. Now I'm based in Shenzhen. So hopefully I can bring the OSG mission to the South region. So today's session will be more or less this flow. Okay, we will have the speaker for about 20 minutes. Then we will have a 30 odd minutes of Q&A, including taking a group photo. So from our past experience, some people are really shy and they don't turn on their video or they don't turn on their camera. I implore you later when I tell you all to turn on your camera, please do, all right? And also I've mentioned just now, for those who just logged in, okay, you can actually post your question and comments in the Zoom chat window, all right? Feel free along the presentation, just key in your question so you don't forget them at the end and you forget what you want to ask, all right? So today, we are very lucky to have Mr. Jason Yap and Mr. Edmund Ng, okay? Mr. Jason Yap is the Senior VP for Fox Networks Group. A brief profile you can read from here. Thank you, Jason. He's currently now in Hong Kong, okay? And Mr. Edmund Ng, he's the GM, General Manager for Business Community Development with CapitaLand and has vast working experience in China for more than 12 years, right? Again, you can see his profile from here. We will let them introduce themselves later at the end of the session when we go into the Q&A. All right, so now Sage, the founder of the company Qihe Tech, all right? I will pass this to her and she can do the introduction herself. Sage?
Yes.
Yeah, please share your screen.
Sure. I will just starting here.
Okay, well, Sage is sharing. Yeah.
Can anyone see my screen?
Yes. Not me. Anybody else can see the screen?
Not showing?
Yes.
No yet. No. Scream no.
Just give me 1 second, double check. Okay, should be good now.
All right.
Cool. So hey everyone, my name is Sage Chen, and I will just share some bittersweet experience on my entrepreneurship experience. I grew up in a family of a journalist and a professional manager. My dad was a journalist for almost 30 years, and my mom was a professional manager. Here it is. I moved to Canada for my bachelor degree. Sorry. I moved to Canada when I was 19 for my bachelor degree study. And after I graduated in 2015, I moved to Vancouver, which is a bigger city in West Coast in Canada. I worked as a PR professional for 3 years. And in 2019, in March, I decided to move back to China and resident in Hangzhou and start my own business, Qihe Technology. So summing it up is China to Canada and back to China. What I do is very simple. You can understand in one word is headhunting. Basically, I find foreign talents, majority foreign English teachers for schools and training centers and other educational organizations in China. We got a online part and a offline part. In offline parts, it's pretty traditional offline headhunting and of course Chinese visa application. And using our teaching resource and school resource, we open up our own summer camps and short-term classes. In the online business, we opened a platform allowing all the headhunting and foreign teacher recruiters in China in different cities to join and share their data and service to helping each other. Why is this? People may ask, since I went to journalism school and I had 3 years experience in public relations. Before I back to China, I kind of summarize my advantage in Chinese market. The first one is PR and marketing ability. I have experience in PR and marketing industry. It saves me lots of money when I starting my own business. Second one is knowing the market size. I know there is a big market in China in schools, demand for foreign language teachers. Third one is language ability. For me and my team, everyone speaks English and Chinese. The fourth one is I know where to recruit and how to recruit foreign teachers. Next one will be cross communication ability. I live in China, I live in Canada, I have experience in cross-cultural communication. So after I realized I have those advantage in Chinese market, then I come back to China. And people may also ask, oh, you cooperate with schools in China and passing all the teachers' information. But as many of you know, Canada have a very Asian population and a smaller market and very stable lifestyle. You might not change for like 30 to 50 years. But on the other hand, in China, younger working force and population, bigger market, and a strong vibe of entrepreneurship. Those are the 3 biggest reasons why I gave up my life in Vancouver and moved back to China. And why Hangzhou? I was looking for a place that is not too big because Vancouver is a really small city. I'm afraid I cannot live in a too big city like Beijing or Shanghai, and not too small city where it has 0 market size. So Hangzhou is a not too big, perfect option for not too small city. And they have different government support policies on talent funding, startup support, and household policy as known as hukou. I really like the city vibe of a business. Like everyone is very busy, like 996, Alibaba, other side like Qihe and drinking bars. They combine the vibe really well. And after G20, I saw the potential growing in next 10 years. That's why I moved to Hangzhou. Who influenced me most on my entrepreneur experience? Will be, I don't have a second option. is my mom. My mom was a professional manager for over 25 years, and her opinion is work for yourself. You can have more freedom and makes you growing really fast. In my family education, she always educate me, teach me to do whatever I want to do and whatever I can do. And second, very strong point is she thinks females can lose a lot their career after getting married and having kids. So better to start early to have more experience before you become a wife or become a mother. As I said before, because I have some marketing and PR experience, depend on social media marketing in WeChat group, Facebook group, WeChat official account, advertising, SEOs. I built my own website by myself with zero cost. Then turn to offline marketing. I didn't spend a penny on any digital marketing. In the right hand, you can see I made poster by myself. I even draw my own logo. And I think the most marketing strategy for me, and I suggest everyone to do, is tell everyone what you do. Just speak to everyone. You don't have to select people, oh, she might useful or he is not useful. You just tell everyone. Then after you're talking to 100 people, there will be like 2 or 3 become your client. Then you will have the first money. We got our first income as a headhunter 6 months after we opened. Challenges. The biggest challenge for me in Hangzhou was south. Although I'm a Chinese, I speak in Mandarin, but I feel like I don't know anything. Personally, I remember I crying in the subway because I don't want to crying in the office. So every time I left my office and getting into subway, I crying for 40 minutes. And then eat, I shopping, I go to hospital all by myself. Career-wise, although I know the strategy of being a professional headhunter, but I don't know how to being a boss. So I have to learn starting with zero. I don't have any income for 6 months. Although I was a team leader in Canada, but it's totally different if you are the boss. So I have to resolve employee relation conflicts. I have to buy a book to study all the company registration, all the tax policy, all the labor law. I remember I bought some book like this thick, then I read every night before I go to sleep. That's how I learn all my knowledge. And how we survive under the virus. During the virus, because Chinese government closed the border, majority of our foreign teachers cannot enter China. And because the schools didn't open for 4 months, I think training centers and primary schools are already open in early May, but for kindergartens, they probably will be open in late May. So we lost our client for 4 months. But under this terrible situation, we didn't reduce any salary for my employee, and we keeping profit for during the virus. And we even opened a new project during last month. I think the key factor is first, 居安思危. I wrote in Chinese because I felt this word can explain it most. Means when you are safe, you think about the failure, you think about the dangers, then you can prepare well. And second one is homework. That's how my parents and my old classmates describe me. Means I don't spend money. I don't spend money on everything. If we need something, can we get it for free? Can we make by ourselves? Can we exchange from others? If no, then we spend money. If we can using other ways, we don't spend anything. And we planned really well since end of 2019. I plan every day before I go to sleep. I plan every day before I go to work. And second one is we asked for a free office. As I said several slides before, I talk to everyone what I do. And one day I was in a WeChat group complaining how rent expensive, and we more cannot afford our rent during the virus. And someone just comes to me, said, "Oh, our boss likes you. Do you want a free office? You can move in. In our office, we have like free one for you." Then I rented out my old office to cover the rent, and we moved to the free office to save money. The last one is cooperate with others, as always. Just talk to anyone to figure out if there is anything you can work together, make a small money or a big money, or just one penny. Penny for me is worth to earn. That's how we survive during the virus. And there lots of people and company in our industry lost their job, closed their business. Some training centers and schools also closed. But we stay strong. We are still alive. I will just give some point on things I believe I did right. If any of you have different thoughts, you can leave a comment and say, "Oh, Sage, I don't think you did right." That's okay. But those are the things I think I did right. First one is keeping team tight, planning every day, because labor is expensive. You have to calculate how much labor can bring you how much profit. Then you hire. So before you hire, you think this and talk to everyone, as I said before, and cooperate with my competitors doing things they don't want to do or they don't think it's worth to do. You can do like smaller clients, smaller cases for them, and trying things out of the box. Learn from everyday life. I remember I visited some bigger companies in my industry in Hangzhou. The boss, the team leader, I think 20 years older than me. They don't treat me as an equal competitor. They think, oh, she's just a young girl. So they say a lot to me. They think I'm not dangerous. I won't take their business and their client away. So they tell me a lot of strategies and their experience. Because I'm young and a female, I won't threaten them. So use this as an advantage. And those are things I think I could do better if you put me 1 year ago. First one is fire fast. I remember I was so shy and awkward to fire a team member. It's not a big conflict. It's just she's not suitable for the team. So I considered and I think that I cannot sleep at night for 1 or 2 months, and I make the things bigger. If I fire fast, I won't spend those energy and money. So fire fast when you want to decide to fire anyone. I know it's painful and shy to speak to them, but that's a things leader have to do. Second one is better financial planning. I went to journalism school. I have zero knowledge about finance and accounting, so I hired a or outsource our accounting service to an outsource company. I don't even know how to read all the Excels and text. I start from zero. And I think if I have some basic financial knowledge, I could do better in that way. And second one is changing self-awareness from young person to entrepreneur. When I was starting my business, I was shy, don't know how to talk to people, don't know how to ask money. We done the service and we have a contract. I don't know how to speak to them, like, give me the money. I cannot. I just call them like, oh, you know, it has been so long, how is it doing? And I cannot say, oh, it's time for you to pay me. So I was still a shy young person, not a entrepreneur. But I have to responsible for my team. One day I have to like, give me the money. you just do it. So if I have the self-awareness of responsible for the team in a financial way, I could be better in that point. So thanks for watching. As I repeat a lot in several slides before, telling everyone. So I'm telling you my story, what I do. If anyone wants to get in contact with me, here's my WeChat. That's the best way and best timing for self-marketing. So I was just using this time for my self-marketing. Thanks, Billy.
Thank you, Sage. Sorry, I was on mute as well. So thank you, Sage. So yeah, you can stop sharing the screen and I will share mine now. Right, so to help her, I will take over from here. The WeChat QR code is still on for another 30 seconds.
Thanks, Billy.
For those who want to scan her, you know, but of course, you can always reach out to OSG. All right, any one of you who think you're interested to visit Hangzhou and you want to find Sage and interact more closely with her.
Of course.
Yeah, you guys can reach out to us, anyone from the OSG team, and say, I would like to know Sage. Can you pass me her number and so on? All right. Okay. So, all right. Now, the powerhouse panelists that we have today, Mr. Jason Yap, Senior VP for Fox Networks Group, as well as Mr. Edmund, GM for BCD in CapitaLand. All right. I'm going to leave it to both of you to do your self-introductory. So, shall we go with Jason, since Jason's on the left side of the screen? Not alphabetical order, but let's, Jason.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jason. I don't know if it's Billy is right to say that, you know, the two powerhouses, but let me say that I didn't start my first startup until probably 15, 17 years into my career in the media business. The first startup went pretty well. It was a startup for a...
And this is the point.
Right, let me continue. It was a startup for a public company in the US to start up a travel business, media business in Asia Pacific. Now, the second business was my own. So like Sage, it was hard. You're alone and you save. You try not to spend a lot of money and so on. Now, the advantage that Sage has is really youth. And the advantage that I had was my network of friends, people who are willing to help. But my disadvantage is also time taken to unlearn what I have learned over the years. So for most people out there, I would say, you know, the young people out there, do it as soon as possible, do it as quickly as possible, and if you have to fail, fail now. So that's all I have to say for myself. Edmund?
Okay, hi everyone.
For the screen flipping over, I think I had my arm on the touchpad.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Edmund. I'm a Singaporean. I've been in China since 2007. So I've been to various cities, basically all over the big four cities in China, Hong Kong, and so on and so forth. Decided to join my current company. It's because they want to do a new business line, a new real estate type of format. So I actually had to start from scratch. I was staff number 001 in this department. So I actually start everything from scratch. So I understand how entrepreneurship works. In the last 2 years, we actually done quite a few. We have also worked with OSG on being their community partner on various occasions, working with Einhan on various activities. So to those who are in Shanghai, I think most of you are pretty familiar with Bridge Plus. We always come to our events together in the same place. So this is what I've been doing. Doing basically a new type of trends of real estate, and then I've been supporting a lot of startups as well in this platform, and also companies who want to connect with our partners. So this is what I've been doing here. Look forward to interact with most of you. Yeah. Back to you.
All right, thank you. Thank you for the introduction, both of you. So I'm going to hand the floor to both of you. I mean, whoever has a question. Maybe I can also start first. I think I do have a question as well. So in this COVID-19, what has changed? I mean, COVID-19 kind of just started at the beginning of the year. We are now in May. So what actually has changed between now and pre-COVID period? Oh, you have to unmute. Just okay. I'll unmute you. No, I can't unmute you. You have to.
Okay. What have I changed? The first one is everyone is working from home, so I'm really thinking about how necessary people, like all the team members, come to office. So if everything works well in distance working, saves money on office space, I can just have like 2 or 3 office space for everyone, right? Rest of others, if we don't have a meeting, they can work from home. That's leadership level. In business level, I think we changed another way of communication. Because we don't have lots of clients and teachers, so we give more patience to everyone we talk to. Before, if we have 100 teachers to interview, like really, we can just give everyone 2 to 3 minutes. But in this time, we can dig more on each talent and really develop their ability and potential energy.
Thank you. All right, Jason, Edmund, you guys want to take over?
Yeah, quick question for Sage. Sage, how big a business must your business be before you regard yourself as successful?
That's a good question. Employee-wise, I don't know, because I think a small team can be very powerful, but not too less people. So I think my ideal in 5-year plan is to have around 20 to 25 employees, and triple our client base in today. That's around 20 to 250 useful employees and corporations.
Do you want to put that into like revenue numbers. What kind of revenue are you looking at in 5 years down the road?
As I said, we might transfer of our offline business slowly into our online business, because offline business is very labor cost. So in Qihe platform, we will move all of our offline business, and then from a headhunting business to a headhunting-ish technology company.
Jason, did you answer your question?
Yes, yes, thank you.
The real answer is I don't really know.
And that's okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think
but
being comfortable about not knowing what's going to happen, I think that's a very important entrepreneurial trait, if you could say that. Edmund.
Yep. My turn? Okay. So you'll be asking some serious questions. So I'll ask a bit more relaxed questions. Okay. So you have been doing stuff here in China. You've done stuff in Canada. So I'm pretty sure in one of the slides you mentioned that you have zero experience when you land in China. You're looking at things and so on and so forth. So can you share some experience to the audience? Because I believe there's many young ones in the audience here who's looking to maybe do some startup here in China, but not too sure how they're going to do about it. Can you share some experience, any obstacles that you have done? A bit more interesting ones. So, for example, I know that there are many funny ways of doing things here sometimes. So we can share some experience with some of our audience.
Okay, the first one is don't plan too long. I know someone like you want to plan everything really well, but I think planning is always good, but plan too long can lose your patience. So plan some, of course, and then start by hand. Only by doing things you can say if your planning is correct or not. And second one is, of course, networking. As a young people, there's lots of ways for networking. Offline work, networking, online networking. You can networking in a dating app or anywhere. If there is people, there is chance for networking. And don't afraid to speak out your business idea. There might be someone want to help you, or someone already experienced and he or she failed. They will share their experience.
Is there any interesting examples that you can share with us, like during your network?
I remember one time. Oh yeah, this time I would say how I know Lily and how I speak here. One day there is a social meeting because we have a shareholder. He is doing AI funding machines. And he was like, oh, hey, Sage, how are you? I'm like, yeah, I'm doing well. And I'm really free now because not much business. He was like, oh, I know like someone is doing some kind of talk, wants people who speak English. Do you want to check it out? Do you have time? I was like, yeah, of course. I like to talk to people and I want to know more people. That's how I speak here. I don't know the organizer Lily before. I just know her by talking to Tom, which is my shareholder. Tom introduced me to another lady. Another lady introduced me to Lily. That's how I speak here. Okay. Just by a random talk.
Okay, so it's a quick one. Just one more question for me, is because I've been seeing how the online trends has been exploding here in China. Platforms like, I've seen teachers actually use Douyin, or in Singapore we call TikTok.
Yeah.
They conduct lessons, or even to conduct interviews, and even interesting topics that can be shared. So for me, myself, every night when I'm about to sleep, I'll just swam my Douyin. Sometimes I can just do it
Everyone does that.
for 45 to 1 hour sometimes. So you share with us what are your plans in the online one? Because I think in this period of time, in COVID time, I think many of us are thinking of how to bring our business to online, and I believe many in the audience here will be interested to know what are your plans. Can you share with us?
Yeah. Actually, many of my competitors is moving to online teaching because we have lots of teacher resource. So after they recruit students, they can either borrow or build their own internet platform. They can selling their class to students. But I'm really conservative in that because I think I should stay in headhunting, or at least put the majority of my over business and energy in headhunting. First, because we are a young company, we don't have that resource and money and time to go into another big direction. A second one is I really like headhunting business. I think it's a very necessary industry, and I have lots of patience in this area. For the platform we built is for schools, for students, for teachers, and for other talent development agencies to exchange their resource. More like a 2B, 2 training center and 2 kindergarten, 2 school teaching find the teacher finding platform. It's not like they having class on that platform.
Okay, thank you. Okay, pass time back to Billy.
All right. Okay, guys. Looking at the time, I'm going to just make this a little bit faster, speeding this up a bit. So I'm going to be taking the questions and I will be asking. So if Sage can actually just very quickly just address some of these questions that are in chat windows. Okay. So there's this question that's quite interesting. You've mentioned doing headhunting in a traditional way as of now. So one of the audience is actually very curious. What are your thoughts on AI-powered headhunters and whether you will be looking to incorporating this AI-powered headhunting system into your business anytime soon?
I think it's a really great question because why we built our platform.
You're breaking up a bit, so
more efficient.
I think you're breaking up a bit just now.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yep, now it's fine.
Oh, okay. Okay, I will just start again. The reason why we build our platform is, of course, make things more efficient, right? So efficiency is always what we want. With AI technology and other technologies, if they can make our like the matching faster and efficient, we of course will welcome those technology. However, from my perspective, headhunting is very personal and costs lots of communication. And what most is involves lots of psychology. You really want to, you really have to guess and think what the candidates think and what kind of talents the company or the school really needs, because they may not clear what they need. They think, oh, I just need a person who doing this, but actually after organizing and after analyze, they might need 2, or they might need half of labor. So headhunting is not only finding the person, it's more of knowing the person, knowing his or her potentials, and as well as for the employers, their whole human resource structures.
All right, thank you for that. And
so by now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's still relying in real person for now.
Fair. That's a fair question. I think everybody's also too eager to jump on technology and AI, without fully understanding maybe the implications. I think it's new technology, so I think you are looking at it from a very realistic point of view. And of course, cost is always a factor. I think, right? Balancing cost and effectiveness. Okay. So with this COVID-19, I think just now the question was asked, but I think, how has it actually affected the hiring market for expats? I mean, obviously you're not getting expats into China now, right? So you have that problem. But with this question, I'm actually thinking further ahead. What are the chances? Because with China opening up and being the only major market that is actually active right now post-COVID-19 period, okay, and of course, America's trying to catch up by forcing themselves to open up. But the truth is, only China is kind of opening up right now. And I think there is already a demand for Chinese education in the Western world. So how do you see this service reversing, bringing Chinese teachers, teaching the Chinese language, teaching the Chinese culture into Vancouver, for example? Are you exploring that option?
Yes, of course. Actually, lots of people doing HSK tests or doing that area of business talk to me. I think at least 5 companies we talked before. The most difficult thing is every province and every state in the US have their own what they call own teacher certificate. If you are a teacher in China, you want to teach in Washington State, you have to have a Washington State teaching certificate. And if you want to teach in New York, you have the specific New York teaching certificate. So the teacher training in Mandarin language have lots of long road to go.
Okay, all right. So is the standards are not actually standardized yet?
Yeah, yes, that's biggest. Of course, you can open a training center or doing online teaching, but you want to teach in a real school. There is some qualifications.
Right. All right. True. Fair enough. So, okay, I'm also going to speed myself up a little bit more because I think there are some really nice and interesting questions. So I really want to get this out. Okay. Well, this is actually a very cute question. So you're better at collecting money now? So how do you make yourself a better?
We are borrowing money? Sorry, I have a little bit breaking out.
Okay, yeah, I was saying somebody in the audience is actually interested. How did you make yourself better at collecting money?
Okay. Are you better than collecting money? Yes. Today there is a client don't want to pay us. Before I was like, speaking in a very soft way, like, you have from the contract as we signed, agreed in blah blah blah, you have to pay us. Now it's just like transfer our money. Like, when do you transfer? Transfer it now.
So I guess my understanding from my own understanding and experience, it would be forcing yourself down to the last dollar in the bank account, so you have no choice but to ask for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You will I calculate every day in my notebooks, like how much I cost, how much I need, how much I need to collect. When do I collect? If it's the money collecting day, I will wake up early and wait in my cell phone. It's like, oh, night, everyone's at work. Please give me the money.
Yeah. All right. So I hope that answered the question. And there's also another very interesting, because I see this question and I think I'll structure the question so that it's a little bit more direct and relevant, because see, specifically for you, you are actually new to Hangzhou, right?
Mm-hmm.
You literally know nobody there, but you went there just because you love it. So
yeah,
how did you actually start to network in a city that you are not familiar with? I mean, you just end up going to bars and cafes and restaurants and start talking to people in bus stops and subways?
I add a lot of groups.
Mm-hmm.
There is a like Hangzhou City fan group or Hangzhou City hiking group in WeChat or in Meetup or in other website or in Weibo. You just adding those group and they will like post when they have events. You just go to there and introduce yourself.
All right. Okay. So I think that's that's a very interesting, approach, and a very daring approach. Have you actually encountered anyone who think you're like a con person? I mean, of course, you start adding people into the groups, they never met you before, and you start talking and you go like,
You just take a deep breath, like, hello, and then if they don't like me, I think, oh, she's trying too hard, because like sometimes we think other people are trying too hard. If you are the people who trying too hard, other people think, oh, she's like blah blah blah. I don't care. Like, if they don't like me, I won't be here again. So they won't stop me in the street. So they will forget me in next week. So whatever.
accepting the fact that you're just a small part of this world, that people may not remember you, so it's not that important anymore, right?
Yeah, right. When I was young, I cared this thing. Oh, people laugh at me. I'm so important. But now it's like, yeah, no one will care.
All right. And okay, I think we still have a bit of time, so I'm going to also ask this. So what did you think? I mean, you've kind of touched on this just now, but somebody was actually asking again. So I think, what did you actually learn? What did you think you've learned from from working in public relationship for 3 years, for having worked in public relations for 3 years? What did you actually learn from there that you think is helpful to what you are doing and what you plan to do in the future?
Oh, I like this question. I will say, think about how people think of you. Like, PR yourself. Just think what kind of message you are delivered to other people. Professional, active, or sad, or messy, or what kind of characteristic or what kind of identity you are giving to other people. Think yourself as a brand, and then PR and marketing yourself. Because other people always want to talk and connect to others who are kind, nice, and always bring more energy into the group, right? So
right.
even every time I don't have plan for dinner in those groups I mentioned before, I will say, oh, is there anyone want to have dinner in Hangzhou? So I will just have dinner with a stranger.
Yeah, that's how most of us in the group, I think the 70后, 60后, I think that's how we kind of grew up as well.
Yeah, and speaking back to how PR help, when you're talking to people, you can say what they think from their eyes. If they are interested, if they like to be with you. So after you change every time, you will find the best appeal for yourself.
Great. All right. Thank you. All right. I think we are kind of running short on time. So if this is the time I need everybody to pay attention and be cooperative. Can y'all please turn on your video cam right now? And I mean now, I'm not joking. I'm going to call out names and going to shame you on Zoom if you don't turn on. I don't care if you don't have a clothes on. Alan, who is this?
Oh my God.
Belle, your iPad, I don't want to see iPad. And then there's all these names. Who is TW? Is it Zoe? And there's this Lenovo. Don't think it's a Lenovo, then, you know, I'm not going to call you out.
Well, Lenovo is my boyfriend, I believe.
Well, all the more he should turn it on. Come on, Mr. Lenovo. Terrence, Yo QR Yo. Come on, turn it on. I want to see faces, not names. Come on. Good. At least everybody's at home. Those in Singapore, none of you are out there on the streets.
Okay, done.
Nice to see faces. Come on, don't be shy. Well, so
Billy is done already. Billy, we got it.
Oh,
I got it.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. So let me just minimize this. And all right. So the OSG Youth Alliance Young Founders Series number 7, scheduled for next Thursday, 21st of May, will be Lenice Yo. I think Lenice is also on today's webinar. So welcome, Lenice Yo. Next Thursday, we will be having her to share her experience. Very interesting photo. I think those of you who find this amazing photo, please join us next Thursday. Follow our OSG app, scan the QR code so that we can actually push all these updated events for you guys. The founder of The Fishmonger, Miss Lenice Yo, right? And for the upcoming events other than the Youth Young Founders Series number 7, we have the E-Forum 2, the OSG Futsal SSA E-Forum number 2, this Saturday at 7 p.m. We'll be starting at 7 p.m. sharp. It should last about an hour and a half. So please, if you have, especially for those people in Singapore, you are actually on a circuit breaker, don't give excuses, you know, please join us. All right, 7 to 8:30. We would love to have you all with us. All right, thank you very much again for attending today. Had a wonderful session. Thank you, Sage. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Edmund. And of course, thank you all of you for taking time today to join us on this webinar. Hi, Jack. Thanks for waving. All right. Thank you very much. And I'm going to call this off.